Welcome to my Draw My Life video. Well, so far anyway. I'm only 22. So I've lived in Massachusetts my whole life, except when I was born. I was born in Rhode Island. And I was the first child of my family. It was me, my mom, and my dad. And we lived in our little blue house. My dad's really tall, and my mom's really short. And she has curly hair. And then there's me. Duh. And then 2 years later, my sister Emily was born. And we were a big, happy family. And then when I was 5, my dad got a new job. And we moved into our new yellow house. And that's where I live now, which is an hour away from where we used to live. We packed up all our stuff in our little red car and this big moving van that had a rainbow on it. I don't know why I remember that, but it had a rainbow on it, and we drove to our new house. And it was a big house. And then I started 2nd grade when we moved, and I loved school. I had really good teachers, and it was fun, and that's me. I met 2 of my really good friends that I have now there. Jenna, my friend with the freckles, I met in 2nd grade. And I met my friend Laura with blonde hair, and tiny, tiny Laura, when I was in 3rd grade. And we're still close now, which I am really happy about. Yeah, and they both have blue eyes. I don't have a brown marker, and I have brown eyes. And then, school was kind of uneventful until 7th grade. Middle school wasn't that great. I started to get really shy and didn't have a whole lot of friends, just a few close ones, and it wasn't so fun. But also in 7th grade, I started doing horseback riding lessons, and that was really fun. I loved it. And then I eventually started taking lessons on a regular basis. It was really fun. Don't judge my horse. It was fun. I did equestrian English style riding, which was really, really fun. And then I went on to high school, which was kind of the same. I was still really shy, didn't have a whole big group of friends, but I had a couple close friends that I'm still friends with now. We've kept in touch through college and everything, and I'm happy that I have them. I was just really shy. I remember not liking school very much. But then in 2009, I graduated high school and was off to college. I went to Westfield State University / college, and I majored in early childhood education, hence the apple. It's an apple, see? Apple. And I spent a lot of time there in classrooms and doing observation hours, and that was really fun. One of the first times I met a wonderful teacher who I would eventually student teach with, and she was a great mentor, and I loved her classroom. Now, my college was about an hour and a half on a good day away from home, and at the end of my freshman year I got a job at home, so I went home every weekend to work, and it was a kind of a weird job. On the one side it was an ice cream shop, and on the other side it was a liquor store, and I worked at both stores. Sometimes I would work at both at once, and I would run back and forth and sell people everything, and I did not actually wear the funny hat, but you get the picture. So that was a fun job, and I had that through the rest of my college. And then junior years, when things got exciting, my sister went off to college, and so that was new and exciting. And then at the beginning of my junior year, I met a boy, and we started dating. He was my very first boyfriend, so that was very exciting. And even more exciting was that I participated in the Disney College program, which meant I went down to Florida and worked at Disney World for a semester, which was an awesome experience. But the sad part was that I was now in a long-distance relationship, and it was kind of hard, but I had an amazing time, and I made a lot of great friends, and I grew up a lot being on my own. At Disney World, I was a custodial cast member, so I cleaned and swept and took out the trash. But it was still fun. I still loved it. And then I came home summer before my senior year, which was a big year, and I was so excited to be back home. It had been nice to get away, but it was also nice to come back. I was really happy to be back home with my boyfriend and my friends and everybody. And to be back at school was nice. I started my student teaching and fell in love with first grade and kindergarten. I loved my little kids. Every day at school was it was so fun, and it really reminded me of how much I wanted to be a teacher. And I also joined my school's equestrian team and started running, and I even won first place in my very last show, which was so exciting. I'd never shown before. And then on May 17th, 2013, I graduated summa cum laude and waited 4 hours to walk across the stage to get my diploma holder, but it was totally worth it. And I was so happy to be done with college for now. And unfortunately, around graduation, my boyfriend and I broke up, which was sad. And then a few days later, my mom and I hopped on a plane to take my graduation trip. We went to London and Scotland, which was probably the best trip of my life. It was so much fun, and we saw so many things. We did so many amazing things. We went and saw a Harry Potter museum, and well, not a museum. We saw the studio where they film everything. And one of my favorite parts, we went on the London Eye and got to see everything from there. We also went to Buckingham Palace and saw the guard standing outside and the changing of the guard. And it was a really amazing trip. And then I came home and reality set in. I was without a job, not sure what I was going to do with the master's program that I was applying to. So that was fun. So for the time being, I started nannying through an agency, which was a fun summer job, and I got to meet a lot of different families. And then towards the end of the summer, I got a job at Michael's part-time while I was going to school, and I really love that. I'm still working there right now. And I also met my boyfriend Connor, who plays golf, and we started dating. But since he works in the golf industry, as soon as it gets cold, that means he can't stay up in Massachusetts anymore. But I, of course, am staying in Massachusetts because I'm going to school. So that meant that he was going to Florida. And he worked at a golf course down in Florida while I got a job at a daycare child development center up in Massachusetts. Our logo was the butterfly, hence the badly drawn butterfly. So right now, that's me. I'm juggling a whole lot of things. I'm juggling my master's program and my new job, and still working at Michael's to make a little extra money, and also Skyping my long-distance boyfriend for the time being, and not really wondering if I have time for everything. So I've got a lot going on. And since I'm only 22, I want to tell you what's next for me, or at least what I hope is next. I really, really love teaching and would love to have my own classroom one day. I want to teach first grade. I fell in love with it when I student taught, and that would be perfect. I also want to travel all over the world. I would love to go to a bunch of different countries and also a road trip around the United States. I think that'd be really fun too. I can't wait. And I also would love to get married someday. That sounds like it would be fun. I don't know. You know what I mean. And I want to have kids, little girl, little boys. And I want to have 2 or 4, but not just 3, so there's no middle child syndrome. You know what I mean? Anybody back me up on that? And I also want to go to Disney a lot. Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Paris, Disney Tokyo. There's so many, and I want to see them all. But who knows what's actually going to happen? You'll have to stay tuned for that. So thank you so much for watching. Exclamation point. And happy Monday Funday. I will see you in my next video. Bye.